now we can go on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, do some little test, get a couple $1,000s in investment here, no more than 10 grand by the time it's all done. And we can tell you whether we can make that tens of millions of dollars right then and there.
All right, Kevin, man, super pumped to hang out with you today. I think we've had you around 3 or 4 different events, and I'll be honest, out of all the sharks I've met, you're my favorite by far. My favorite. I feel like you're so down to earth, you're real. Your background and history is just, I don't know, it's impressive. It's exciting. It makes me feel like I can make it, in so many ways.
I'm one of 6 kids, Cincinnati, Ohio. My dad was a bartender when I was growing up. And finally, he saved enough money to be able to open up his own bar, Harrington's Irish Pub. And so I started working with him when I was 11, kind of a family business kind of thing, And so, but when I was when I had to start high school, he said, the bar business is tough. You're going to have to pay your own way through high school. Yeah. And of course, then I graduated high school, and you're going to have to pay your own way through college. And it's tuition and the books and the living and all. I mean, it was, so I had to be an entrepreneur. It's out of desire and need of wanting to, pay for my own things that I needed to pay for. Yeah. I starting businesses, so it's been a fun ride.
What was the first business you started?
So the first real, real business, newspapers when I was 9 or whatever, but when I was 15, I started a driveway sealing business. And in Cincinnati, Ohio, if most people had asphalt driveways. If you had cracks, when the water got in there in the winter and it froze, it tripled the size of the crack. So I'd knock on their door, boom, show them this, beautify it at the same time. And I was doing 10, 15 jobs a week just by knocking on doors. In fact, I do one in the neighborhood, and then
get the referrals out.
Sign up and knock, and I'd literally get 20 more jobs. So but that was, I was in high school, and then in college, I started a heating and air conditioning business.
That's right.
And then I sold that, and I decided, I dropped out of college my junior year, and I said, I know a way to get a college education without going to college in business. And what was it? It was becoming a business broker, getting listings of hundreds of companies for sale. Yeah. So think about this. You've got 200 businesses for sale, and you got the books and records of each one of them. You've got their leases. You've got the file like this on each one of all the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly. And so, because if you're going to sell it, you got to be able to talk about it all.
Absolutely.
So I learned all the trends in business. I started partnering with some of these folks, selling it, partnering afterwards, and that was a lot of fun. My education on small business, and so we did a lot of that.
So partnerships has been obviously big with you. How many thousands of products that you've been a part of, that you have ownership in and been around? What's the number latest?
I've launched over 1,000 products, and let me say this: I never invented any of those. So I, in effect, had a partner in every single deal.
Right.
Because somebody else did all the tough work of inventing it, manufacturing, or whatever. In many cases, some people would bring me an idea on a napkin. That's a tough deal because it's years to develop something from a napkin.
Right.
Because you got to get engineering and the manufacturing and molds and inventories and all that. But if someone walked in with a product ready to go, they may have spent 5 years on all of that. Now, in 60 days, I can tell them whether or not we can make this, $100 million success. Yeah. And so that's what I love about the business, is that we deal typically with people that have developed it. They bring us, the opportunity. We have the capital, we have the knowledge, the know-how, and out of the 1,000 that we did, I'm not proud to say that we failed on probably 700, meaning a lot more failures than 70%. Success. But the successes, what we learned, and this was critical, how do we launch quicker
Yeah.
And I say fail fast and fail cheap. So we said we started doing testing, and we were in the early days. We had to complete the whole project, put it up on TV, find out if it worked or not, and if it didn't, we could lose $500,000.
Right.
Now we can do a test that we go on the digital platform. So this, when I'm talking about the old days, this is
TV.
Before the internet was even around, right? So now we can go on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, do some little test, get a couple $1,000s in investment here, no more than 10 grand by the time it's all done. And we can tell you whether we can make that tens of millions of dollars right then and there.
And I think that's key. So you're going as fast as you can, as cheap as you can, minimum viable.
Yes.
$10,000, Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth. You're reading those numbers. You're seeing, is it a scale up? Is it flat? Is it going down? Is there any interest at all before you?
Exactly. I mean, I'll give you an example. We had a little item that guy puts it on my desk, said it's going to be your next Grand Slam. Signed the worldwide exclusive rights to it. We put up the money. We now started a test.
Yeah.
We did a couple quick little videos, down and dirty, didn't spend a lot of money, iPhone style videos.
Right.
And then we spent $2,500 on Facebook. Okay. It did $12,000 in sales. All right. So
There you go.
I think we got a winner. And guess what? That product did $150 million in sales for us over the next 2 years.
What was the product?
It was a little item called Peeps Eyeglass Cleaner.
No way.
Cleans both sides of your glasses simultaneous.
Of course.
And it's items like that that just blow me away. But I didn't have to spend a lot of money to find out. We had a grand slam.
Which one are you looking at more whenever you're doing these businesses, the product or the people that you're partnering with?
Well, and it depends on what I may need the people to do.
Okay.
In some cases, I do flat out just a license and you're done.
I don't really want to work with you anymore, but I love the product. Let me just take that over.
I've got the team, I've got the money, so we'll just give you a big fat royalty, and hopefully if it works, yes, you're going to make millions, maybe tens of millions of dollars without having to do anything
whatsoever.
Right. But some deals we do where it's more of a partnership type thing, where we're both putting up services and maybe we're both putting up money too. But we're prepared in any case to always finance a deal because that's what we've been doing for years. But some people say, well, I want to be involved. I don't want to just get a royalty. It's my company. Well, okay, then let's form the partnership. Then I'm looking at their skill set because I don't want them ordering way too much inventory or, doing something crazy, but we generally control the marketing side. So that's important.
Right now, we've got a lot of businesses that it's AI, it's futuristic. We don't really know what's going to happen with the market, right? Is your investing strategy normally to invest more in stable businesses that have been around a while, that are growing, that have stable growth, or are you heavily invested in future items, maybe pre-revenue and things like this?
I'm not a huge investor of pre-revenue type of deals. I do have an investment in it's a company called Psychoceutical, and it's psychedelics, right?
Okay.
Ketamine creams that are now legal in some markets for some of the soldiers coming back with PTSD. They can't sleep. They can't this. Anyway, it's a pre-rev. We're doing lots of research, and that company though has got tens of millions of dollars in value, even though there's no revenue. Very little revenue. But generally, I like to see something that can either generate revenues quickly, because if I'm going to invest and I'm going to put money in, I want the money to be used for the marketing to explode the company.
Right.
And let's put it this way. Yes, I can invest in plenty of pre-rev deals and wait 3 years to see any action. That doesn't excite me on a day-to-day basis, okay? Or my team. We like to put some money into something, see the company grow instantly, and see that pop.
So most of your money is used specifically for sales, marketing.
I call it
growth.
rollout money.
Money.
Rollout money or whatever. I mean, recently I put $500,000 into a company that it was a doctor's network, telemedicine via the internet, and that money went right into marketing and just a slug in. We did radio, we did television, we brought some celebrities on. We signed Ric Flair, Carmen Electra, shot some videos, and boom. And that $500,000 went right into explode these pieces of talent with the videos, et cetera, et cetera.
What are you invested in right now? What's your favorite company right now that you've recently done?
Oh, well, so I like things that have a brand tie-in, right?
Right.
When I did the Jack LaLanne juicer, Jack LaLanne himself was a healthy guy. His brand was health and wellness, and so let's do a juicer, right?
Right.
Well, there's a TV show that Disney owns called Wicked Tuna. Okay,
Wicked Tuna, yeah.
And I've done fishing lures and fishing products for years. So Wicked Tuna is on National Geographic. It's the #1 show on Nat Geo. This last year, it just debuted, 41% increase in ratings from last year, putting it to #1 this year.
Wow.
And so I have the worldwide exclusive rights to everything Wicked Tuna, all categories of distribution, food, swag, hard goods, fishing rods, reels, everything except for slot machines. Okay, so I don't think I was going to do the slot machines anyway. But they do have Wicked Tuna slot machines in Vegas. But I have everything else, and we have a venture that's going to be happening with Walmart and Sam's, and we're really excited about the future of Wicked Tuna.
I love it. I love it. What's the biggest mistake you've made? What's the biggest
The biggest mistake I made in the early days, I was very entrepreneurial, and I thought, I can just do it all. Right? You kind of have some people, and I'll admit, my first year, I went from 0 to $55 million in sales. And so I felt like Superman. And the company was called Quantum, right? Fast growth.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If you don't have the team, and I learned the hard way, it was me and people that I could afford at the time, because I started the company with $25,000 and did $55 million within 12 months. So, it's, how do you do that? Well, I did it by not paying a lot of people that I needed. And so I should have had a better CFO and a better this. I didn't have the dream team. And nowadays, if I invest in a company, gotta have a dream team, or they're going to let me build the dream team. So
that's right.
I'll bring in a board of advisors. What's interesting, I've assembled an interesting network of semi-retired executives. They're 50s, 60s. They've had their hit, made a bunch of money, built some businesses, and they're like, hey, if you got a good opportunity, I might invest. I sit on the board, give some wisdom. 4 or 5 guys that have been doing a couple deals, but now we're opening it up to more. Dream team is vital. And of course, I have the team that I've been involved with, and they can come in and they're going to tell me instantly,
quickly,
problem here, there's a problem there, where sometimes internal people, we bought a company once, and the person that was running it, the person that then became reporting to us, just would not tell us that there were some big problems until we finally were able to open this thing up and just solve
all the issues.
And so it ended up not being such a great situation, but this person was hiding this stuff.
Yeah.
I need those dream team guys to come in and get to the bottom of it.
Any problem can be solved. You got the right people. Exactly. You got the wrong people, and even the littlest thing can throw you way off.
Exactly.
Right?
So that's the key, getting that right team in there.
What's the future look like? What's your goals? What are you committed to right now?
Well, I'm committed. I'm trying to, I'm working half time now from what I used to. So I say semi-retired, but half time, still 40 hours.
I don't see you ever retiring, actually, Kevin. Come on now.
My wife said, you'll be in the ground when you retire.
That's right.
Officially, right? But I do, I'm bringing my family members, I have 2 boys, and my oldest, Brian, is managing a lot of stuff, and my wife's uncle is, so I'm also trying to spend more time with family, trying to get a golf game going.
There you go.
But you know what? I say I want to retire, but sometimes that just brings more deal flow. I mean, and so because it's like, we better get in there before it's too late. So, but I just take it a day at a time right now. But I've had a couple of good years recently, and a couple of good decades.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, man, I appreciate you. You're always around. You're always humble and willing to share, and just, you're an amazing guy. I really appreciate you. It's exciting, brother.
With you, man.
Thank you, man.
You got a good group.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.